Hello, everybody, and welcome for another episode of the Sword podcast, where we leave everything on the table. Raw, we talk to the people themselves, not politicians, not news media personnel, not celebrities, but people who live this reality, people who this reality has affected them and made a shift in their heart. Uh, and these usually are the people who've been telling us about these things for a long, long time, but we refuse to listen. Um, so today is Friday, October 11th, 2023. Just a little update about what's going on in the front line. Sorry, it's November 10th, November 10th, 2023. A little update about what's going on in the front line. So apparently the IDF is closing on all the hospitals in Gaza, meaning that we're no longer in the vicinity, but we are right there surrounding those hospitals. And it doesn't sound right to say that military is surrounding a hospital. So let's leave the word hospital aside and focus on who's hiding in the hospitals and underneath the hospitals, and know that the IDF is surrounding them, meaning we are very close, though it's going to take many, many months, but we are very close to break the enemy. However, I tell everybody from my field of expertise that the battle is not about Gaza and confined to Gaza and Hamas, but this is a part of the regional war in stages. There's no wonder half of the world's superpowers are already in our borders. Nobody likes to talk about it. Nobody likes to spread panic, but it's not panic. You need to know the truth so you know how to prepare. For example, what I do for a living, I advise media people. I give media people, correspondents, news that I get from networks that I have, both in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, everywhere, and they broadcast it. But they can't, because of censorship, they can't really tell you the whole truth. Like I knew that Yemen had launched a drone to the city of Eilat yesterday, a suicidal drone. Now they're saying it came from Syria, but anyways, but another ballistic missile, a ballistic missile that carries 500 to a ton of explosive, of warheads, came all the way from Yemen to Israel, and one of our interceptors for the Arrow 3 system, which is our latest technology of missile interception, intercepted that missile. Again, it's not a rocket. They launched a ballistic missile in the city of Eilat, and above the atmosphere was intercepted. So thank God, no casualties, no damage, but it shows you the area is booming. So we here to just talk about it, to talk about what's going on in the world, the rise of anti-Semitism. Now it's almost like news, daily news, the Jews being attacked, daily news that Jews being, and I don't hear news that a Muslim or an Arab got attacked by a Jew or got murdered by a Jew. How come you don't hear that? It's always the other way around. So why? Have you ever wondered, like people try to minimize what happened October 7th and push it and just forget about it and turn the tables? We're not going to let them. We're not going to let them, and that's what we do. We're going to keep remind people that we are here for justice. We're not against any religion. We're not against any people. We love all people. We reach out our hand for peace. Everyone, we are peaceful people. Especially the Jewish people. They're the most peaceful of people. Okay, they're the one being prosecuted all the time, not the other way around. But at the same time, we're going to tell people the truth. We're going to open their eyes, and we're going to defend ourselves. We live in a tiny, tiny country. Okay, I can hear explosions 3 cities away. I don't get sirens, but I hear it just like it was here. That's how tiny that is, and the threat is huge. And this podcast is for all of you who really just want raw opinion of the people who live this experience, who know about these things, who have something to say, and hopefully you resonate with that, and you kind of get another angle. So with me, that being said, with this long introduction, with me, my Jewish sister, which I tell you can meet people and connect with them within a split second, and it's amazing. You just know there are people like you, and with So I'm gonna just let her do the talking, but Chaya Lev.
Hi everybody. Nice to see you, meet you, everybody. What's up?
Right, so Chaya here is from the United States, and now she's currently living in Israel, experiencing everything firsthand. Like
Yeah.
we are the front line. People ask me when I tell them the front line, it's like, "Are you fighting?" I was, no, I'm not in Gaza. The whole country is the front line. Just look
We
outside
are the front line, honey. We are the front line.
the line. So I just, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, how you ended up in Israel, all the way from California,
Wow.
I remember. And
Let's go. So, thank you so much. Hi, guys. My name is Chaya Lev. I live in Jerusalem, the city of gold. It's such a beautiful, beautiful city. I just turned 50 this year. So, Mazel Tov to me for, and Baruch Hashem for another year to do it right or to get it right. I'm born and raised in California. I made Aliyah from Texas. I'm divorced. I have one son, and I moved to Israel about 7 years ago. I'm a cancer survivor. I asked Hashem if I can survive cancer. I would move to Israel. Why I wanted to move to Israel? First of all, my grandmother was a huge Zionist, and she loved Israel. Matter of fact, she told people she was from Israel. Now, physically, she wasn't from Israel. Her spirit was from Israel so much that she embodied me. It came through me. So I did a conversion to Judaism about 14, 15 years. The timeline gets a little because it's Jewish years. So it's really like 200 years, right? So 14, 15 Jewish years, just whatever. It doesn't matter. And then I did another conversion in the Rabbinut here in Israel. And why? Because I'm Jewish. The Jewish people, a lot of people ask me, how did you come to Judaism? The Jewish people have a very unique journey. We have been in Israel, we've been enslaved, we've been kicked out, we've had journeys all over this globe, and that's why Jews my faith represents very much so the Jewish population. How I got to Judaism is very, very unique, but not so unique because we have receipts that there are people like me, just like me in the Torah. They're starting with Abraham. He left his family. He went from Abram to Abraham. So I'm not actually so unique. The Jewish people are one that Hashem had to do a lot of work for me. I'm American. I'm Black. I'm actually Nigerian descent. Igbo is my tribe. Actually, there's Jewish Igbo here in Tel Aviv, a community in Nigeria. So that doesn't matter. That is after the fact. I found out all of this after the fact. Where did I found and where did I cultivate all of who I am? Right here in the land of Israel, which I really, really accredit as something I couldn't do in the States wholeheartedly. That may not be someone else's experience, but that is mine. So my heart and soul was at Sinai, just like yours was. And my body came later. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be home. And what I did is after I got cancer, I said, Hashem, if I beat this, I'm going to go. I always wanted to be a dance teacher. I'm a big girl. I was a hairstylist, a paralegal. I've done everything in my life because I'm always open to the possibility of who I am. And I wanted to be a dancer. I'm the baby of 9. My dad was military, so his second wife, which is my mom, they had 9, he had 2. And actually, she came with 3. They had 6 together. He had 2, 11. But and my brother, by the way, I converted to Judaism, and my brother is a revert to Islam. Why is he a revert? Because in Islam, I think there's some rule that everybody is born Muslim and then they find their way. I don't know, but he's a revert to Islam, and I am a convert to Judaism. But I'm not a convert, I'm a Jew. So I want to clear that up. And I just told Hashem, like when I went to the rabbi and I said, one day I'm going to live in Israel. And the rabbi laughed in my face. He said, you're going to convert to Judaism, and you're going to live in Israel? I said, yeah, one day, Hashem, if I'm supposed to be in Israel, I'll be in Israel. My grandmother was a Zionist. I told the whole story. And I got sick. I got breast cancer, which is a fluke. It's something that doesn't run in my family, 5 generations. And my little commentaries that Hashem said, okay, let me shake it up. And I came home, and once again, I wanted to be a dance teacher. And I said, when I come home, I'm going to, obviously I did hair as a living, so I can kind of do a haircut here and there to maintain to, feed myself. But I wanted to create dance, and I wanted to really connect to women and connect to humanity and bring the joy through Judaism that I felt so compelled to bring, and bring it into my dance class. And that is what I do till today. That's what I'm doing right now in this very moment. And that's what I will continue with God's help to do, because, that's part of the Jewish journey. And sometimes the Jewish journey isn't just a yeshar, like a little straight road. Sometimes the road is a little bubbly, but as long as we get where we need to get, that's it. So that's me in a nutshell. I know that was a long-winded story right there.
no, that was interesting. You know, the story with the brother who you said reverted to Islam.
Yeah, he's been Muslim for I've spent 15 years Jewish, and then he's been Muslim for about 32 years. And you'll get that a lot with black families. You'll get that in black families. Because you have to understand our history, that for 400 years we were actually, Christianity was actually literally beaten into our skin. We were not Christians, okay? Many of us don't know what we were, what we came from, but there's this connection that we feel when we go and search, whether it be Islam, whether it be Buddhism, whether it be Judaism, whatever it is. And for him, that's what he felt connected to. And for me, I felt completely connected to Judaism. And I think that's great. I tell my mother she has a super vagina. She herself birthed the IP conflict. Let's get into it, Miss Thang. She said, boom, boom, let's go.
Oh,
I can do
goodness.
Both.
And I tell you, maybe you'll agree with me, because I also, I really find it interesting, because when you said that, it was forced upon you to choose what to follow. It was you had
beaten into our skin. It was beaten into our skin, literally whipped into our skin.
And that's why, people don't understand. That's why a lot of movement that were Islamic, led by Louis Farrakhan, that really, took this back then. But that's what a lot of people don't know. Maybe you agree with me. A lot of African American names are actually Islamic names, like the Arab names. A lot of Rashida, all the
stuff
that Latif, all these,
yes.
Shakur, a lot of them adopted Islamic Islamic names or Arab names, almost like
which is so funny, because if you know what, first of all, I said this the other day. People were talking about the white colonizer. I was like, there's also an Arab empire, just like there was a Roman empire and the British Empire. There was also an Arab empire. You can always tell a colonizer by the language they speak. And you have many, many countries that they speak Arabic, just like you have many, many countries that they speak English. And there's only one place that we speak Hebrew, unless those Israelis live abroad. But that's neither here nor there. There has been some form of colonization and some form of throwing that on. The Farrakhan, look, he came into the black community, he's doing what he's doing. That's a very, very, right now, that's a very, very layered and nuanced conversation, right? Because the black community has gone through so much, and we need leadership, and we're just trying to find leaders. And if you can come in and you can preach strength, don't drink, don't have a white man sugar, and don't do this. And if it can help a community and you think that can lift, but then when you're also trying to lift your community, but when you're tearing down another community, that's when you have to go. Like if someone came to me and said, be strong and black. Oh, I got you. But be strong and black and hate the Jew. That don't work for me, because you can't lift up one community while tearing down another. That makes absolutely no sense, right? So that's why most of us here are pro-Palestinian, because we understand the rights that the Palestinians need to get what they need together. But we also know that when you're saying gas the Jew and you're pro-Palestinian, see, that don't sound right, baby. That don't sound right, because you're just using your pro stand to tear somebody down. That's what we're going to do. So that's what Louis Farrakhan is for me problematic, because I know that a lot of people, he does quote some things that speak directly to blackness, but blackness is a really big, broad spectrum, right? I don't speak for every black person, because my situation is very different. I grew up in the suburbs. My father was military. He worked here. So I may not someone from South Central that has a completely different black experience may not even understand what I've gone through. So when we say blackness, we have to understand it's just like Judaism. When we say Jew, what does that mean? Because we're collective, but we all still have our community. So the Farrakhan situation is for me, it's dangerous, because you can't, this hatred towards Jews and whiteness. Black people do not like proximity to whiteness, and then you're selling Jews as being white, and that's another situation. We can say in America, maybe some Jews could be white. I don't know, just like I could be black, but that's another story. America is so flaky. There's so many layers of nuance and context, and we have to just take each layer and just peel it apart if we really want to get somewhere.
Yeah, Farrakhan lost me back then. What he's saying is like, the saying with the mothership that's going to come and just suck all the white people in and make them just like he was like.
He
But I'll
doesn't
tell
like
you,
white people.
if the world, because I truly don't see colors. I don't say it as a cliche, but if people would really want to learn how racism does not exist,
I'm not burping.
they should come and learn from Jewish Israelis or from Israelis, period. I'll tell you what. I tell people in America, like, why would you even describe person by their color to begin with? Even formally, like police officers on a radio scanner. Okay, I got a white male or a black male, or what is it? What? I mean, what? Let's just drop that. In Israel, as you know, we have a large Ethiopian community. Hardly ever, and they will be very derogatory to even describe them as black people, not because there's no pride in being a black person, but because they're people. Like we have to get rid of this terminology. Like when I go and talk to an Ethiopian Jew, I will say his name, and if people be like, okay, who's okay, just say, oh, this is Simon, or Simon who? Well, Simon, and I will say everything to describe him before I describe the color of his skin. Because
you're like my mom. My mom's a lot like that.
I mean, that's the truth. In America, they should come here and be like, we don't, even with Arabs, like Arabs that live with and work with us, we try to leave that aside. I don't know if it's a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing, but really here we judge people by their actions, and we always give people the benefit of the doubt. We always see people like, hey, don't fight us. Please put your weapons down. We'll give you peace. We'll give you land. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. Everything. And it comes from the same place. So it's like you're looking and be like, you live in Israel. Nobody's gonna be. I mean, there's racism everywhere, but I'm talking about.
I was gonna say there's. Let me just. I don't want to get too far out. I'm gonna say it like this: when you're dealing with America, this is what's really hard for me as an American. Also, is really. We have something called colorism. That's just, and that's very, very important to the American society because that's how the country's built. Okay, Israel, you can't look.
There's microphone. Maybe check your microphone really quick.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's not going in and out.
Okay, let me just
try
again.
Can you hear
me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Colorism is that's the issue in America, and I'm just not. There's so many studies on colorism.
Really quick. All right, so we're back. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulties that we were able to solve. So I wanted to ask you. You said that your brother. It was really interesting. You said that he was a revert. So I know that you say, and I believe you've always felt that you're Jewish, but were you guys like Muslims? Like, were your parents Muslims? Like, you had a Muslim?
No, my mashlo. No. And the Muslim, for him, he's called a revert because Muslims believe that every human being is born a Muslim. Okay, you can look that up. It's like some, I don't know if it's completely, they believe in every, and maybe not every Muslim, but it's believed that every Muslim is born Muslim, every human is born Muslim, and then when they turn 12, they go out and be whoever they are. So when he comes back, he's returning to what he was born as. That's Muslim belief.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're my mom's parents are Methodist and Methodist and AME Baptist, which is like from Maryland.
Cool. And so I know you speak so highly of him, but how did he take the fact that you're Jewish?
Well, our family is special and unique. My mother raised us just a lot of kids, so you have a lot of personalities.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any. Actually, it's so funny. I lost 2 sisters last summer, blessed memory. And I went to LA because my brother, the Muslim brother, picked me up. And it was so crazy because he was just trying to be strong. And then he just broke down. And he said, I've been fasting and I've been praying. And I felt so bad because I wanted to bring him a prayer rug from Jerusalem. But when I got back to Israel, I went to Akko. And I had lunch with a friend because that's me. I go all over this country having lunch and learning about the country. And I went to Akko and I went and saw this Arabic guy from Akko, and I said, look, I'm Jewish. My brother is Muslim. And he was like, what? And I told him, brother's name is Sharif, and Sharif is a very like heavy name in Islam, right?
Arabic means
Yeah.
honorable, the honor.
Yeah, there it is. There you go. So he was like, wow, let's get, so he gave me a prayer shawl, a prayer rug, and it was from Saudi. It's a Saudi prayer rug. So I have to send you the picture. I sent this to my brother, and my brother was like, thank you. He was like, thank you so much. And it's really, really interesting because I've learned a lot from him. But I'm his sister, and he loves me dearly. And just like my sister, who's not neither. We have a lot of people in my family that are nothing. They just want to subscribe to being good people.
I'm going to have to stop you for 1 second. I apologize.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, where else are you going to hear a story like that?
Nowhere.
In the midst of what's going on here, we all speak about that side or this side, or we're winning and we're losing, and they're killing and we're killing. And then you hear from souls that can prove to you that you can have faith, you can believe in whatever you want, and that's totally amazing and
so amazing.
That's not our problem. Our problem is not with a faith, it's with people's actions. And to see that and to hear that and but that's the people like yourself and your brother are the people who can bring peace to the world, not with just empty words above a UN stage. Like they'll go, "You're gonna be peace to the world," and behind their back they're like doing arms deals and stuff and planning and how to conquer another area and how to. It's all, I'm telling you, it's a dirty game. We got to look at it from the spiritual perspective. Like we have to.
Absolutely.
The world is really turning into like the believers and the non-believers or whatever you want to call it, but it's like it's no longer a political thing. It's like you either side with what's right, with what's just, and it doesn't matter who you are. You can be even Muslim. I have one of my best friends, my coworker, he's an Arab Muslim. His brother serves in the Israeli police. He's patriotic. He loves Israel. He can be a Muslim. He said, I would never be able to live in any Arab country the way I live in Israel. He's got even a weapon license. People are talking to me about apartheid and stuff. Like he's allowed to have a void card in America. Like he's got it and I don't. I'm not even eligible right now. I've been in America for too long. But and he loves me and he comes here. He came the other, a month ago. He came here to visit me and my wife for the first time. And when you have a guest, you're supposed to honor your guest, supposed to offer stuff to your guest. Not the other way around. He came here literally with 10 bags of food that he brought from his Arab village.
That's the hospitality. Definitely hospitality. Arabs are amazing with that.
Yeah, you almost it's like you're being around somebody the same faith, but yet you find the love, the common values, and all we talk about is things that are really common values. But then you see that, why are you guys so far and few? All of us.
Look, I think that's what we need to concentrate on. I have my brother in between the two brothers, the Muslim brother and myself. And he's he can handle me more because he went to USC. He's a film guy. He went to film school. He's real smart. And he will say, look, I don't agree with everything, but I love you and love and joy. And I know your heart, and your heart is pure and your heart is in love. And so we're going to work this out. And that's all it's about. Colonial mindset is that you have to be like me to be better. I don't have to be like you to be better. What we have to do is be who we are and find the common ground, which is love, which is humanity, which is, look, I'm gonna call it like it is. I talk my shit and I can back it up because I'm gonna see when you're doing some foolishness. Now, I may be like little white Caitlin at the Starbucks and she's doing this, but that doesn't mean I hate white people. I'm talking about little white Caitlin talking about some stuff she don't know nothing about. I may be like, okay, we got the Arab Empire over here. I may be like, man, black people, we need to clarify, we need to get it together. But the reality of it is, if we can come together on what we have in common, I will promise you, we have more in common than not. We have more in common than not. I'm a Jew, you Muslim, you Christian, you believe in the trees, you hugging trees. Okay, it's better. What are we going to do together to heal this world? And this is the difference between, I think, being from the States is because we politicize our lives as opposed to living in Israel. That's my opinion. You know, that's my true opinion. And I'm gonna say this, which earlier you said you don't see color. I have to do. Being from a colorist society, I see color. However, I don't judge you on the merit of your skin. I want to get to know about your culture because black folk, people be like, she's black. But I'm looking like, well, she's from Bahamas. So we got to get into people's culture. And in Israel, you will come here and people will be like, that's my brother. I'm Moroccan. This is our food.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
Temani. That's our food. That's Ashkenaz. That's our food.
when I
So
say
you see
colors,
culture, not color. That's what you see.
yeah,
You see humanity.
that's what I meant. When I say I don't see,
Man, who's?
I only meant I don't. I'm. We all have to be like what you said with all the things in common. We all have to be in one word, godly. And
There you go.
God doesn't judge us by the color of our skin. And in that matter, I don't see colors. In the godly form, not like I don't care about your culture. To me, like no. I actually am fascinated by cultures. I want to learn because I want to find the common values. Like I like to speak to people like that because be godly. You want to be successful in this life, be godly. You can never be wrong. And what's be godly? It's A, B, C, D. I mean, all the things that we know that are built in. Just be godly.
Get into it.
Everything I do, I don't do anything from hate. Like I used to work, and people in Israel don't know what a maximum security prison is in America. Okay, maximum security prison is where you house really people with notorious. People that
like a Folsom or something like that.
Yeah, like some of the worst criminals, and some of the and it was in Illinois, and some of them areas there was like psych wards and stuff. So think about people in maximum security. Like you can the energies and the tension, and it's a white town, and it's a white kind of redneckish, it's a mid-American town. The name of the town, and then you have like a large majority of black population from Chicago, maximum security prison, and here I am coming from Israel and having my values and seeing, like, I'm really seeing racism from both sides. I'm saying like people really like the prejudice, and I don't understand it. And apparently I was some of the inmates' favorite person. I just treated them like human beings. I never cared about, I did my job. Being professional is knowing like that, okay, they do what they do. I don't care. Like sometimes I would walk, and I give stories, like I would walk with another officer, like you patrol the galleries or whatnot. Like one officer, if they'll ask like, hey, what time is it? Like an inmate would ask what time. It doesn't matter the color of the skin of the inmate. It can be a Mexican inmate. Some of them were a lot of gangs, a lot of gang leaders. And they asked what time is it? Yeah. And some officer would be, buy a watch. I just walked away. Just the poke in the eye. And I will be the one stopping, looking. And sometimes these people just want to know the time because they want to watch their favorite show, like a game, a sports game on TV. It doesn't matter. Oh, same thing with extra food. Like we used to, and I'm telling people we used to hand out trays. I'm telling you that so you know what the meaning of being godly is, okay? How you can translate it to everyday life. You have trays of food, and sometimes you have extras. And what do you do with the extras? You pitch it, you throw it. You don't even take them away. You throw them in the end of the gallery. And the food is nasty to begin with. So like you can't even look at it or smell it. So some inmates, and again, inmates in general, would ask for extra, okay? That don't cause, it's just, hey, I'm hungry. I don't have money in the commissary. Can I please have an extra tray? You'll have the guards that say, absolutely not, and just throw it in the trash. And it's
just nasty.
Stabbed the day after, and they don't know why. Like, you don't understand, like, the tension in that area. And I would be the one be like, yeah, I'll give you extra if I have to walk up. And it's not because, like, oh, you look pro-inmate, you love inmate. No, I'm a pro-human being. I'm here doing my job. I'm not emotionally involved. You know what I mean? Like with what they did, what they didn't do. So I just saw people as human beings, and this is and again, this is like what we all need to see. Like be godly is do not judge. Period. Judge people by their actions. Defend yourself if somebody's coming to hurt you. Always. Even the Bible commands us to do that. But at the same time, the rest of the time, be godly.
Of course, but some people don't know how to be godly, and I want to just say, some people don't know how to be godly because they have no connection, and that's why I teach dance the way I teach dance, because I want people to really get connected. Because I really feel like it's very hard to hate something if you love yourself. If you love yourself and you have this connection, like I wake up in the morning. Today I didn't feel so connected. I usually do shachari, shachar boker. So I said, okay, Hashem. I stepped outside just to get some air. You have to work really hard to be better, to better yourself. But I want to tell you something. It's so funny. I have a little short prison story. I never been up in a prison before, honey. And I went into with the Chabad in Dallas to a prison. They asked me if I wanted to go in to read for pouring the Megillah.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I go into this prison, and this prison is a famous prison because it has this woman in there who I'll tell you after. It's a long story, but this it's on an Air Force base in Texas. And I go into this prison. They telling me, fill all the information out. And I go in, and so there's 3 people. There's an older Jewish woman. There's 2 younger. No, there's 4. 2 younger Jewish girls and one. I don't know if she was Jewish or not, but she was just coming to sit and listen. So they said, you're going to read the Megillah. And I went with my rabbi's daughter, who she's like 9 months pregnant. She's barely getting through it. So this black girl walked past. I'm not kidding. This is my Orange is the Black moment. She walked past because I was just in talking to the prisoners because they walked me around the prison and showed me this is the, I guess, light offenders. This is a federal prison. So it's light offenders out there. They live in houses. They clean. This is the heavier offenders. This is the people with drug problems. And the warden was black. And he said also something, the difference between you and us and them, is they got caught. Did stupid shit too. They got caught. Like, he let me know, like, I could have been here, but he's a young black warden. So anyway, I'm going in there talking to the prisoners, like, hey girl, how you doing? And they were like, so anyway, I'm in there with the rabbi's daughter. And one black girl walks by and she says, oh, you Jewish? She's like, I said, yeah. She's like, well, she started getting, I told y'all Jews is black. She went and got the whole ward, and they came. It is a famous story that my Chabad knows. They came over and they were going crazy. The Chabad lady was just like, what is going on? Because they hadn't seen a face. They hadn't seen a black Jew. They didn't know what was going on. Then they hadn't seen somebody pay attention to them. So that made me think about what you said. And there was the old lady. I fell in love with her. She was a little old lady. I said, oh my God. They said, oh, you can't hug. I was trying to hug the people. They said, oh, you can't hug the people. And like, they might hit you over the head. I said, the old lady. And I was like, what did she do? And come to find out, she's this old Russian babushka queen, honey. I guess her husband did something and she was chopped him up and was throwing him over the headset. And I was in shock because I'm like so naive. Like, at the end of the day, when I walked into this prison, I really wanted to connect. I connected so much that they brought me back to talk and speak at their graduation. And the warden was saying, we need more people to give, to be nice to them, but at the same time, they have fights. I didn't know that it's like, you're a lesbian in the prison, you can't have a relationship. I learned so much about the prison. I was like, oh my God. Like, but they don't have their rights, but at the same time, I felt like no matter what they did, it's like you said, they're still a human being. Even the lady that chopped the man up, I was like, oh, that was my best friend.
I think that working in a prison, if somebody gets to work in the prison, and again, the higher security, like the better for your.
This was federal though. This was a federal one.
Yeah, you learn all of the spectrum of humanity. Like, you can get to know a person's lowest, and then you can in the other next door cell, you can see a person with the most hope of better. Like, you really get to see humanity uncensored, completely uncensored. But we're gonna have to dive. We're going to really.
We're gonna got up into the prison system, child.
Yeah, to the real world and the politics and what's going on in Israel. And I'm going to show you first, you and the viewers, a picture. And I want you to tell me what you think about that and why are these specific people doing that?
Okay. Ceasefire now. They need to stop playing.
Like, I don't understand.
They don't understand either. They don't understand. You're not alone
behind that. I don't get it.
I think Americans are just out of touch. They're in a bubble. They don't know war. The biggest drama is what flavor matcha pumpkin spice am I gonna pick today? Like other than like the domestic terrorist Connor shooting up the school. I say this all the time. Americans don't. I can't. You ceasefire for what? What you ceasing? They ceasefire on October 6th. They don't understand the idea of don't start no shit. Won't be no shit. What is going on? You cannot come over here and murder people and think, are you kidding me? No, I can't. I can't. That's ignorance. And they why? And you're not. No, I can't. When I tell you no, I can't. I can't.
I'm telling you, it's just that's this picture. This represents best what's going on in the colleges right now too. You know,
how are you gonna be just dumb in college? In college, and you're just dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get it.
Ignorance mixed with just being, I don't know, evil, or I don't know what other way to explain it. I mean, these people know. I mean, there are videos out there of Israelis being slaughtered. Like you can't. It's not like a tale or a story that Israel is telling or a narrative that we're trying to sell.
In their minds, they think it is. It's so goofy. And it's like now you see that, the colleges are getting money from Qatar. Make it make sense.
Well, Qatar is the financial department of Hamas. It's the Ministry of Treasure for Hamas. If people know, I'll give you some of my 2 cents Middle Eastern studies. Qatar is taking over the world by bribing the world. Okay? A lot of people talk about the money. They talk about, the Jews control the money. And no, that's not that. I'm going to tell you something. If you want to know somebody who's manipulating the world using money, that's first of all Qatar. And I'll take you back a couple of years ago. A year ago is the World Cup, or a couple of years ago is the World Cup. 3 years ago is the World Cup drawing. Like, who's going to host the World Cup? Now,
Qatar?
Yeah, hosting the World Cup is a big deal because when you do that, not only the tourism, but you can promote your country. You can just become that's a big deal because it's the most viewed sporting event in the world. It is. So Qatar and they found out was bribing FIFA officials in order for them to just win the right to host the World Cup. They do it with the UN as well. They do it with everyone. They did it with America. They paid them enough money to build the biggest American base, the largest American base in the Middle East is placed in Qatar. Now you ask yourself, why? Why not in Israel? We have the Negev Desert. We are your strongest, biggest allies. We'll never turn on you. But no, you had to do it in Qatar. A lot of companies, Qatar Airlines, and they sponsor a lot of sports teams from all around the world with money. They're buying them with money. And with money, everybody else have to go with their narratives. That's why you don't see a lot of people.
So that's why I understand why the Jews got the narrative of money. Why are we not putting it on the people? The Qataris, they got the money. They're controlling the world. How are they putting it on us?
Exactly.
Because I'm in Jerusalem just barely paying my rent. What we talking about? What they talking about?
And that's anti-Semitism. Now, not a video I wanted to show because people know here what we do is usually we watch latest videos or news of what happened with this war, not just in Israel and Gaza. I like to cover the surroundings. I like to cover the people and how it just spreads out. I found a video. I came across the video today. It really made me cry. I've been trying to.
Wait, tell me, is it going to be? Do we need to put a sensitive warning on it?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I never post these.
Because I'm not into like gore porn of my people at all.
I'm trying to show powerful moments, and so people see the sides. There's a demonstration that happened in America somewhere today or last night.
Okay, let's see it.
And it just speaks for itself. So watch this. I'm gonna go to the beginning.
I saw this.
He's singing the national anthem of Israel.
I love it. I love it. Oh, okay.
I'm telling you something. If them police officers weren't there, if he was in an alley somewhere, this man would be slaughtered. When you hear these chants, just like that. That's the chance before we want to kill the infidels.
I mean,
Once Palestine
just a
will
bunch of bullies. They're a bunch of bullies. Look at them. This man is out there singing the Israeli thing. They're just a bunch of bullies.
yeah, but I think when you treat them as bullies now, these are the people that we had a gentleman, a Jewish gentleman died in L.A.
I
You know,
saw.
okay, I'm gonna stop this for a second. In L.A., of course,
I saw that.
story. And these were no bullies. The difference between that and the stabbing and I mean, it's happening. Another Jew.
No, but I'm just saying, just how I just said this the other day, just how you have a man singing peacefully, and like, blah, blah, blah. There's bullies every time you. It's just it just shows you the region of the world, the ideology, and it's not everybody. I will say it's not everybody, but look at the pro-Israel people that just have this peaceful vibe, and look at the pro-Palestinian people, and it's really a shame that the poor Palestinian people have this kind of mad, upset group that's representing them. They don't have a peaceful group representing them. They don't have a group saying, you know what, we like to be pro-Palestinian, I have to actually say that I'm going to gas the Jews. That's interesting.
And that's what it's about. It's the terminology. See, I don't care. I mean, I don't have a problem with the right to protest and chant and say whatever and raise flags. That's obviously a huge part of freedom. That's First Amendment stuff. But to stand behind the freedom of speech and use it as shield, and because you listen to what they say, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. You know what that means?
I know what it means. You better ask Rashida. You better ask Rashida. Does she know what it means? Because she's playing games in our face.
Exactly. That means the extermination of the Jews. That means the kibbutzim, the villages around the Gaza Strip that suffered the attack. That means completely that, but everywhere. That's what they mean, and they're screaming, and they mean it. We have to believe that. We have to believe them. There's another one here that I wanted to show you. Let's see if I find it here.
Expressed support for the operation.
Now, we know what happened October 7th. We know the atrocities. I mean, we don't expect anybody to condemn Hamas in the Arab Muslim countries or the neighbors that we have in the Middle East. I don't expect.
And that's a shame. Well, that's a shame. Why wouldn't you see? That's the difference between them and us. Because when we see some dumb okie doke stuff, we're gonna come out and say, "Oh, now I'm not with that." You not condemning this foolishness, that says a lot about you. That doesn't have nothing to do with us.
But to expect them to condemn that would be me being very, very optimistic and naive. However, the difference between condemning and praising and celebrating it, meaning celebrating.
There's also a difference there.
Now it's a whole new ball game, and I want to play you a little short clip, you and the viewers, of course, and my viewers, and to look what happened right after the October 7th attacks around the Arab world.
Make me mad.
Crowds celebrate in Tehran, gathering at the city's Palestine Square to show support for Hamas's attack on Israel this Saturday.
Foolish.
Iran provides political, financial, and military backing for Hamas. A top Iranian official expressed support for the operation.
We support the Al-Aqsa flood operation, and we will stand by the Palestinian fighters.
In Palestinian camps in Lebanon and in Beirut's southern suburbs, there were further triumphant scenes among Hezbollah supporters.
Israel claims to have an invincible army. The myth of Israeli intelligence has been shattered once again, and we're facing imminent victory.
And that's why we're not doing a ceasefire. You're going to find out today.
Palestinian people and Hamas, describing a, quote, heroic and
That's the innocent
victorious
civilians
operation.
people are talking about.
Meanwhile, in
I want to
Turkey,
stop right here really quick.
thousands marched in
Look, when people talk,
You're going to make it. I'm going to go out and shop.
oh, you guys need to go after the terrorists, but you guys are bombing civilians and civilians and civilians. Guys, not a lot of people know the situation in Gaza for years the way I do. I've all my life, I was born into that. I was born into being around the Gazan people since I was a child in Lod, because most of the Arab the Arabs in Lod are from Gaza. They were brought there after the first Intifada, the first uprising in 1987, and most of these families were people who actually collaborated, apparently, with the IDF, and they were smuggled out of there. They were promised land, and they were promised to be left alone. And this is why also Lod is full of illegal weapons that the Arabs have, and nobody's doing anything to stop them, and they have gangs and crimes because they've done Israel a favor once, and Israel forever owes them. What I'm trying to say is that Hamas is Gaza and Gaza is Hamas. The Gazan people voted a vast majority, like almost in amazing, and it wasn't corrupt. They really voted the PLO out, which is Hamas in suits and jackets and ties, same thing. But they voted them out and voted for Hamas. And you have to understand, Hamas is in the hearts of the people of Gaza. These are their family members. These are their breeding grounds. I mean, you remember Hamas terrorist who slaughtered 10 Israelis, and he called his father. He called his father. It was in one of his victims' phone. He said, I have that Jew's phone in my hand. Turn on WhatsApp. I killed 10 civilians with my bare hands. I shot them all. A woman, their kids, the husband. And he's so happy. And instead of a father who would be like my father, and I'm sure your father, Chaya, hey, I'm disowning you. You belong in prison. What have you done? God will punish you. No, that father, the civilian in Gaza, said, God bless you. Is that all you killed? Mom is very happy for you. You know, we brought you into the world for that moment. Stuff like that in Arabic. It was shocking. And it's one of my podcasts. I played that video. I refuse to watch it again, but the thirst for Jewish blood, if people would to know, and it pisses me off, I think the most. This is why I'm doing this, is like people, you gotta wake up. This is no longer like, okay, an Israeli soldier was killed, or people, we killed. This is like the thirst for Israeli blood, and the fact that they targeted civilians, kidnapped babies.
I can't.
I mean, I know.
Because when I'm saying I can't, you could say whatever, but I'm just it's so I'm not mad. You know what? This is what I expect from terrorists. The terrorists are doing what terrorists do. However, I have an issue with Americans across the board that have so wholeheartedly accepted that, and that's what they want, all because they themselves are unaware, ignorant. Maybe they know what they're supporting. Maybe they're just jumping on the bandwagon. We expect this from terrorists because they're terrorists. However, what about the people around? And I'm with you. Israel, it's really, for me, politically, I don't talk about the politics this way. I'm going to let you talk about the politics more, because it's clearly a spiritual war. It's clearly part of this empire to take. They are stressed out about this blue and white in the sea of green, red. It's a colonial mindset. And what we do know, and this is from a spiritual aspect, is that they cannot win. They will not win. They can win the war on this computer. They can lie. They can, and by the way, you have to understand the Black community. And when I say the Black community, I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about some members of the Black community really, really side with the Palestinians. Why? Because of colorism. Those, Palestinians are the really oppressed brown people, and the Israelis are the really colonial white people. They have been sold a lie. And it's really the opposite, because how can you let somebody hijack your struggle? How can you let somebody quote Dr. King and Malcolm X in your face, and they themselves are not even Black? What is going on? To me, this is a spiritual war, and you cannot lose. You're not going to get Israel. We will have World War III, and there will be no world before they get Israel. Let me be clear.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Exactly, that's what I've been trying to tell you. I tell everybody it's a religious war.
Better.
Don't give it a political explanation. You'll never find it. Don't give it an earthly solution, because it's not an earthly problem. And that's my main thing about this podcast, is to show the sides, and I purposely show the radicalism in each side. You still there, Chaya? I think that we lost Chaya for a moment. Let's just get her right back here. So like I said, We're back. So like I said, the main thing about this podcast is really to show you that it's not a political thing. It's not it's not. The events that we are experiencing right now are heavenly. I'm not trying to preach you the Bible right now, but our Hebrew and the Christians believe in those prophets as well. Our prophets in the Bible prophesy this moment 1-to-1.
Of course.
Go to Ezekiel 38, 39. You will see
Get into it.
Even the nations that are supposed to be surrounding us. In what time in the millennia is going to happen? Like, it's amazing to see that there was many of the prophecies. Plus, it's the whole world. Look at this. Ukraine is still fighting Russia. Don't you forget that. Ukraine there's still a big war in Europe that took about 20 times more victims than this war has been taking. And I mean, civilians and refugees and Europe and whatnot. Almost something like a global war. No, all eyes are in Israel. This is where everything started, and this is where everything is going to end. And like
Chaya get into it.
Ever lose, because we are with the righteous side. We are with the godly side, and it's as humanity, everybody in the end will come together because we are all children of God. But unfortunately, like in our real life, we have to go through these challenges. We have to go through this very, very tough moment that eventually just teaches us a lesson. And we all go through this. And since our podcast,
I just want to go back to that, because that's all this is. This is a big lesson. And Hashem, my friend said the other day, God is not watching. God is watching and taking notes, baby. And everybody, God, if you're doing Shachar Boker, it says, you do not trust in man, you trust in me. You do not put your trust in a man whose breath expires. His aspirations and his dreams go down when he goes down. When he dies, there's nothing left. You gotta put your trust above. And this right now, I really believe that our own, everyone knows when the Jews are not together, it's gonna be chaos. When we're together, you can't touch us. So everybody, it's cute. Everybody, waving their little flags, go right ahead. Good luck. Exactly. What side you gonna be on? Because it ain't giving me righteousness, but that's okay. That's okay. You're gonna find out real quick.
And right now, since it's all surrounded around the Jews, you don't have to be Jewish to side with the Jews, and it's really, really important. Of course. Note. And I'm telling you, we see a lot of evil rises its head. And again, like you said, these are spiritual energies. People don't know, but right now what I do, I'm a spiritual coach. My whole thing on Facebook, my main thing is spirituality. I came down to this earthly mess.
I don't even know. I gotta follow you now, because I just came on here, jumped in here.
People don't, but my wife is gonna give you the information. You'll see, like this. Okay. I predicted this on a spiritual level. I only come down to this political and show, because that's what some people understand. I mean, you can't. You know what I mean? You can't go right away deeply spirituality with people. But and again, it's not about religion. Even some Christians believe that now there's the world. Every now and then needs a reset, and it's reset in consciousness. We sometimes, interrupt the balance, and as much as bad and violence and evil you see right now happening, and wars and people are being killed. At the same time, you see a lot of people showing light, and like you see the beautiful side of humanity.
Bring it through, yes.
In Israel, I mean, look at the transition. I told you of this a month ago. We wanted to kill each other, quote unquote, and it was just like almost a civil war in the right and the left, and Bibi, which I don't care about any of that. My prime minister is God.
Get into it.
My president is Hashem. Is God Himself, and
now we're talking
for Him automatically. Whether He disappoints me, which is always for me, not against me, or whether He's not. But that's spirituality. Now with this atmosphere, since we have to finish, we're limited for 1 hour. I want to play you something else beautiful.
Okay.
You will appreciate it. And I didn't plan it ahead of time to play that because I didn't know we were going to talk about a lot of the racial stuff. And that was really, really mind-blowing. And wow, I was so inspired. I still am. But I want to play you something that I saw on TV, me and my wife last night, about the beautiful side of America, okay? We focus right now in America.
There's some beautiful sides, honey.
Let's see beautiful America because you know I love America, but I love the beautiful America. So let's watch it together.
Ton Bright, hello. Thank you for joining me.
Yes, hello, Lital. How are you? It's so nice to be here.
I'm great, thank you. Let me just start by asking what brought you here?
So I'm a member of the Plantation Fire Department, the city of Plantation, and I have been a friend of Israel for many, many years. On October the 7th, I started getting some text messages and phone calls that there was an incident or something going on in Israel. I had over 100 text messages, and when I learned about the attacks, I knew immediately that I was going to need to come and to help my friends in Israel. And I belong to an organization called the Emergency Volunteers Project, which was started by Adi Zahavi in 2007 after the Second Lebanese War. And he started that war in order to recruit and train American firefighters to send them in Israel in times of war or crisis so we can come and help the Israeli people. And that's why I'm here, to stand in solidarity with my friends in the state of Israel.
So I will just translate you to Hebrew with your permission.
I
אומר
want to
לנו
give this
סגן
man
אסון ברייט, ברגע שהבנתי ב7 באוקטובר שקורה כאן, מה שקורה כאן, הבנתי שאני חייב לבוא ולעזור. הוא אומר, אני חבר של ישראל במשך שנים רבות, אכפת לנו מישראל. אני חלק מפרויקט החירום, חירום והצלה, לכל מה שקשור כאן בישראל, ארגון שהקים אותו עדי זהבי, ולמעשה הוא אומר, הגענו לכאן כדי להביע סולידריות עם מדינת ישראל. So tell me, Lieutenant Bright, are you basically helping the Israeli Fire Department? What do you do here practically on a day-to-day?
So since October the 7th, the EVP has brought over 65 firefighters, medical providers, and they've been providing feeding services. And basically what we've been doing is trying to increase the Israeli infrastructure, because the Israel Fire and Rescue Services is one of the best fire departments in the world. But when there's a war and there's an increase in rocket attacks, they need to open up more cars and more fire engines. So what the Americans have been doing is coming and filling those fire engines so we can help to respond to the fires and the devastation and the destruction that those rockets have been causing to Israel. And that's what we've been doing.
אומר לנו סגן ברייט, הגענו לכאן 65 לוחמי אש וצוותים רפואיים. יש לישראל מחלקת כיבוי אש מהמצוינות ומהטובות בעולם, אבל בסוף צריכים גם עזרה לוגיסטית בכל מה שקשור לעזרה לבתים, לפינוי של נפלים.
I have to say something, guys. Don't look at fashion shows to find beauty. Look at stories like these. That's beautiful people right there. Beautiful. Left their families, their kids, all the way across the ocean, coming in
Humanity.
here. Fires are not theirs. Beautiful, godly people. Angels on earth. That's what angels on earth look like. Listen now.
לפינוי של מה שקורה שם בבתים. Where are you staying at the moment? You're all based down south?
So we have firefighters all over the country, and obviously for security reasons, we don't say exactly where we're staying. But however, we are spread out throughout the country, and what we do is wherever there is a need, the American firefighters will go there in order to help get additional fire engines out on calls in order to help to combat the additional damages that have been happening due to this war.
אומר לנו סגן ברייט, שאלתי אותו אם הם ממוקמים בעיקר בדרום, והוא אומר, אנחנו ממוקמים בכל רחבי הארץ, מטעמי ביטחון אנחנו לא חושפים את המיקום שלנו.
Since we have a minute, I'm going to just move to his other words because I want this broadcast to be right.
By the
for
way,
your service
I'm leaning
and for
in
your
because
help
my
and
headphones
support
died, so I'm
and
just
standing
trying
in
to hear you.
solidarity with the state of Israel. Thank you so much, and stay safe.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I just want everyone to know that the United States, we stand with you, and you're not alone. We're going to be here for as long as you need us. Thank you.
All right, and I want to thank you. We have 30 seconds for these broadcasts. Chaya, what an amazing conversation I had with you. I know I could do that.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to meet you.
And on behalf of me and my wife,
I'm glad we have a friend. My accountant is in Lod, so no, in
have lunch.
Romney.
You
So I
talked
have to
about
come
the lunch.
visit.
Have lunch with us. Chaya Lev
For sure.
from Jerusalem.
Have a good one. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
Shabbat shalom. Bye.